All right, here we are 30 minutes later. Now, one of the things we've done is, okay, as we did before, we mixed the water, we've hydrated it. I've moved you guys up so you can now look down on top because it's important to see what I'm doing from a higher view now. Okay, as we can see in our starter, you can kind of see now that you're in that higher view, the top of it is actually now starting to sink, all right? So we've reached absolute peak hydration, and you saw, based on before where our 12 o'clock mark was, we're another few centimeters, another half a centimeter above that, okay? So, and that is all in half an hour. So like I said, towards the end, it really accelerates quite quickly. So what you need now, you don't really need a glove. I use a glove that just saves washing the hands all the time because we're about to start mixing and I mix by hand, okay? So first thing we'll do, we'll take the cling wrap off that. We took the cling wrap already off our starter. And we'll just, what I like to do is kind of make, if the wind doesn't get to this, I like to kind of make a bit of a well. So what I'll do is I'll stretch this out. So this water has all been absorbed within the flour now, and it's kind of hydrated the flour. Because we've let it rest as well, the gluten has relaxed. It'll be a bit easier to work. But in essence, all I've done is I've made a bit of a well. You can see there's still some at the bottom, so it's not like it's a hole straight through. Then all I'll do is I'll pour our starter in. Now one thing I'll notice is we'll just take a little bit of the starter out. Now look at the bubbles. Okay, little bubbles in that starter. So we have a very, very bubbly starter here, okay? Which is great, that's what you want. And actually, if you look at the bottom there, you can see the kind of bubble structure of that last little bit. And it has a really tangy sourdough smell. The longer you leave it, the tangier or the riper it will smell, but in essence that's that. So now the knife and the bowl, they go in the sink and we'll wash those up later. Now, the folding stuff. Some people ask me, how do I fold this? There's a really easy way of doing it, and like I said, I never take it out of the bowl. You can take it out of the bowl and knead it. You can do, I used to do slap technique, which is all around just slapping and rolling, slapping and folding, and you just keep doing that over and over again. I found it worked, fantastic. This is a lot easier, produces the same type of results. So what I normally do is I'll just get a little bit of water out of the tap on my finger, on the glove, and I'll just put it on the edge. That's just to kind of help me pull it away from the edge. So in essence, what I do, I'll start and we'll do it. It's a bit hard for me reverse, but we'll try and do it reversed. Okay, what I normally do is you'll start here, you lift it up and you drag it across. You rotate it a quarter, you lift it up and you drag it across. Again, rotate a quarter. All right, so it's just fold. So you can see I've kind of folded it into an envelope and a pocket, and the sourdough sitting in the middle. All I do now the first fold, I go a bit further on it. So you'll see me here, I'll just keep folding and folding. And you can see actually, it's really interesting. What we're trying to do is incorporate that starter into that white Autolyse flour water mixture and salt. Okay, and because my starter was a bit stiffer, it's a bit harder to integrate it. So it's just going to take a bit more. But what I tend to do is, this is the first time where I'll actually do a fair bit of moving it around. Okay, after this, we'll come back in half an hour's time. Okay, and we'll do this again, but it'll be far less in the sense of less movements. This is just trying to get that initial distribution through the bread. Okay, so we can see right now, this is why I say I use a glove. It is sticky, sticky, sticky. But that is high hydration bread. It is going to be sticky. But you watch, I guarantee you in about an hour and a half's time, this will be pulling off the edges cleanly. It still will be sticky, but it won't be anywhere near, as you can see here, this level of sticky. Okay, so we've folded that. It's all nice and mixed together now. What I might do, trusty scraper, which we will need for later. So again, tools that I use. I'll use this tool for shaping, just a standard board scraper, a cheap one from the local dollars and cents, and then cost me $4. Again, a plastic bowl scraper. Again, it was a couple of dollars off eBay. I bought quite a few of them and I go through them. And what I'll do with that is, that's just to try and take that starter off the mixture off the edges, just so that part doesn't dry out, we can incorporate it. Okay, So now what we'll do, we'll cover it. And we've worked that gluten, so of course the gluten is now all tight. We're now just going to let that sit for half an hour, or 20 minutes to half an hour, which will rest it. The extra water, remember our starter is 100% hydration, okay? It was equal parts water to flour. Actually, I added a little bit more water to make it a bit looser, but that was also because the original starter was actually not 100%, as in 100% mixtures. So I've added a little bit, so you're adding 100% hydration to 80% hydration. So of course you've got a discrepancy in the water content between the two of them. So letting it rest also allows that water to be now distributed between the two masses, okay, the two different mixtures. So we'll leave that sit, 20 minutes time I'll be back, and then we will work it again like we just did before with the pick up and fold across, quarter turn, pick up, fold across. But in this case we'll do it a lot less. Then 20 minutes later we'll come back and do it again, and 20 minutes later, come back and do it again. But those last couple will depend on how this goes. Normally you can get, if it's really good and this works for me, we'll only have to do 2 folds, two more after the one we've just done. If it's still a bit tacky after that third fold, we may have to do 1 more before you'll see what I'll do. I'll flip it, and then we let it, what they call bulk rise, which is where it's trying to get most of the rising in before we then go into the shaping and the long fermentation process. So we'll be back soon.